All right, and we are back. This is Calgary Flames NHL 18 Franchise Mode, episode number 38. Welcome to our Franchise Mode here at the Calgary Flames. We are currently on the draft floor at the 2020 draft here. I'm not even sure where it's at, but you can see the Pittsburgh Penguins hold the first overall pick. They are on the clock. I've just paused the clock there so we can make trades. But yes, we are currently on the draft floor. So welcome right into the off season. Like we ended the last video, episode 37, right on the draft floor. The reason I wanted to pick it up right where we left off is because we have the potential to make a move right here on the floor. So you'll know that after the draft here, we have the re-signing phase. And in the last video, I said that we didn't have any players to re-sign. I was actually looking at the wrong column. It turns out we do have quite a few players that need to be re-signed. Headlined by defenseman TJ Brodie. So we have quite a bit of work ahead of us here before we even get to July 1. I was hoping in this video that we would just fly through it and get right to July 1 and we could do all of our free agency in this video, but now we're going to have to go through the re-signing phase. So the reason I want to start here on the draft is because we can potentially make a move here. We need to free up some salary space. If we want to keep guys like TJ Brodie, and I'm just trying to see here who else is has their contract up here. Let's see. Years left here. Let's go. Yeah, okay. So, is it going to show me here? Where's Brodie? Yeah, so Brodie's here. It's shown 1 year, but that will change as soon as we get into the re-signing phase. So all these guys need to be re-signed. So we can start with looking here. Not too many big names here until we get to about Oliver Chillington, a depth defenseman for us. Andrew Mangiapane, Mark Jankowski, some good depth players for us. Spencer Fu, who had a sensational rookie season for us. We obviously want to bring him back. Eric Holla was a pretty steady third line center for us, 82 overall, but there's TJ Brodie. He's our big player that we got to get re-signed. There's Emile Poirier, Cedric Parquet, Brett Kulak, Tyler Wotherspoon, Foligno. So a bunch of depth guys here. And Slater Cuckoo. So a bunch of depth guys there. The big ones are probably Jankowski and Mangiapane, Chillington, Holla, Fu, and then TJ Brodie. But like I said, we want to try and bring back all of our depth guys as well. Yeah, so we actually have a lot of work to get to here in this video. And in terms of goalies, I was taking a look, and we do have one goalie that needs to be re-signed, and that is Michael Neuwirth right here. He is an 86 overall, however. And we have this guy here. He was our goalie in the AHL, 74 overall, medium backup potential, 23 years of age. We obviously want to bring him back. We gave him all the starts in the AHL last year, and he played pretty well for us, I think, last year. Let's take a look quickly at his stats there. Yeah, so he played all 82 games, went 41, 26, and 15 with a 909 record. That's not bad. Again, if you did not remember where we got this guy, we picked him up out of free agency last summer. Right before the season was about to start, we saw this guy in free agency and thought, why not give this guy a shot? And he has potential, so we basically got him for free, and he had a sensational rookie season going pro, so that's good to see. But obviously John Gibson's locked up. Anton Khudobin is still there in the AHL, but Michael Neuwirth is the one that we need to lock up along with this guy. The only problem, again, with Michael Neuwirth, 86 overall now. He's gone up, which is good. That's a really good backup. Like, we have John Gibson, who's a 90. Neuwirth is an 86. The only problem is I think he's going to be demanding a higher contract. Obviously, he's going to be demanding more than $980K a season, but hopefully he's not demanding too much. And if he is, we cannot bring him back because we cannot be paying our backup goal. Our starting goalie's already making 7.6. We cannot be paying our backup goalie a lot of money here, obviously, if we want to move forward. So again, welcome to episode number 38, I believe it is. Is it 38? I believe it is. 37 was the last one, so 38. Welcome to episode 38. It's a very busy episode ahead of us. The off season officially beginning again. If you did not watch episode 37, I don't know how you missed it because it was the Stanley Cup Finals, but we did end up getting swept by the Carolina Hurricanes. That marks back-to-back years in which we win the Western Conference but lose in the Stanley Cup Finals. So it's been a bit of a heartbreak the last couple seasons for Calgary fans. We are going into this off season with an aggressive plan. I took a look at the lines here in between the videos. I mapped out what we have. We need to fill a lot of holes coming up here. Obviously, it's going to be determined in the re-signing phase, but we have a lot of big decisions to make. First off is our top six. I said in the last video, our top six is very top heavy. You can see Gaudreau and Tavares, they're safe, 91 overall for both of them. Both are franchise players, excuse me. Sean Monahan, Matthew Tkachuk, very disappointing despite both being elite forwards and still very young, 25 and 22 years of age respectively. Blake Wheeler, James Neal, we picked up 85, 84, like really good for us. They did good in the regular season. The problem is I think we were just a little bit too much top heavy, because if you look at all of these top six forwards, so 6.75, 10.5, 6.3, 6.6, 6.5, and 6 for James Neal. So a lot of money tied up here in this top six. If we can maybe trade one of these guys, probably one of these bottom guys here, we could likely free up some cap space to improve our bottom six. And this is a look at our bottom six here. So obviously that's what we're going to try and do in this off season, is instead of relying on a top-heavy offensive group, we're going to try and split it up a little bit, make it more even. As we saw with the Carolina Hurricanes in the last video, defense does win championships. They had a pretty spread out and defensive forward group. So we're not going to go too crazy, but we do want to try and shake things up, because, I mean, that's back-to-back years in which we lost the Stanley Cup in heartbreaking fashion, too. So we definitely want to change things up. I haven't decided who we're going to trade just yet out of our top six. I think the thing about Monahan and Tkachuk is they're still really young, especially Tkachuk. Tkachuk by far was the worst of all our top six forwards this year in terms of production. He had a pretty poor year in the regular season and in the playoffs. He was pretty invisible this season. But the problem with him is he's still medium elite, 22 years of age. I mean, this guy could still take off. I mean, I'm just hesitant on trading him. I mean, he does have a lot of trade value, as you can see there at the bottom of the screen, but I'm just a little bit hesitant at trading him right now. I just think that we should probably stick with our young core and maybe maybe look at trading James Neal or Blake Wheeler. So we'll decide that obviously in free agency. Here on the floor, there is one big move I'm looking to make right now, and that's with our defensive core. So that's what our forward group situation looks like going into the offseason. Again, we have to resign a lot of these depth guys, Holla, Ennis, I believe, Fu, Mangiapane, Jankowski, Foligno, actually all these bottom guys, Parkett, all of them have to be resigned, so we can kind of make a decision of which guys we want to bring back in the next part here in the resigning phase. In our bottom six, our top six is locked up, but again, we'll probably explore trading one of these guys come July 1. But it's with our defensive group. This is where it gets very interesting. So you can see there we are led by Dougie Hamilton, 89 overall, TJ Brody, 87, who we really want to bring back because he is a very elite defenseman right now in this game at 30 years of age. We obviously want to bring him back. Jake Bean, 86 overall, that's really good to see, still on his entry-level contract, but the interesting one here is the captain, Mark Giordano. We've said it all of last season, all leading up to this. This is likely the time we move on from the captain, Mark Giordano. It's not going to be easy. Both to do and both for Flames fans, because obviously this guy spent his entire career with the Calgary Flames. He will have his jersey lifted to the rafters no matter when he retires. In Calgary, he definitely will. But it's just unfortunate. At 80 overall, he's making 6.75 for, I believe another 3 or 2 years. It will be another 2 years after this. So we just can't afford to keep him. That 6.75 for the next 2 years we could be using for paying some of these other players. Like I said, TJ Brody's going to need an upgrade, an upgrade there in terms of pay, and so will Dougie Hamilton and Jake Bean 1 year from now, because you can see they both have 1 year left. It says 2, but again, that's not counting this year. So they will have 1 year left. So we really need to free up cap space, because we are really have a lot of money tied up there on our defensive core as well, and we need to move forward. The other thing about this that's pretty interesting at our top four, so again, Hamilton, Brody, Bean, and Giordano. Another reason we may have failed in the Stanley Cup playoffs the last couple of years is, take a look here. Dougie Hamilton, offensive defenseman. TJ Brody, offensive defenseman. Jake Bean, offensive defenseman, and Mark Giordano, two-way defenseman. So, in which we all know Mark Giordano is a pretty offensive defenseman as well. So you can see we actually have 4 offensive defensemen, 1 two-way defenseman if you want to look at Giordano that way. But we really didn't have a good defensive core. We really relied heavily on offense to win championships. And like I said, as we all know, defense wins championships. So, I wouldn't mind, obviously, moving on from Mark Giordano, and I'm going to do that right now because I want to free up the cap space for TJ Brody come the re-signing phase. But I will, after we bring Brody back, hopefully, in the re-signing phase, we obviously need to add another top 4 defenseman, and I wouldn't mind adding a defensive defenseman into our defensive core to really help out. When it comes to our bottom 6 here, like I said, we have to bring back Oliver Chillington. I believe Brooks Orpik just retired, but I guess not. He's still listed in this game, so we can make a decision on Orpik, who is a defensive defenseman. But when you look at our bottom 6 here, after we resign them all, Chillington, Orpik, Cuckoo, Kulak, Wotherspoon, even Valimaki, and Rasmus Anderson, of course, all these guys can be competing for the final 2 spots. I'm very comfortable giving the final 2 spots to some of these, or to 2 of these guys. Obviously, I don't think we need to go too crazy outside of our top 4. I think our bottom pairing can be filled in here. It's really our top 4 I want to address by adding a defensive defenseman. But the first thing is we have to move on from Mark Giordano. Like I said, it sucks, but I think we have to do it. And we're going to have to do it now to free up some cap space. So we're going to try and ship out his 6.75. We're not going to get anything back likely for him, just because it's such a huge contract. But we're going to try and do our best here. So first things first is we have to find a team that wants him, that can afford him. So like example here, Washington wants him, can't afford him. So same with Winnipeg. Anaheim does want him. I wouldn't mind trading him to a non-divisional opponent. So let's keep on going here. Buffalo, Carolina, Chicago, they all want him, but they can't afford him. So let's keep going here. There might be not too many teams here. Florida, but again, they can't afford him. I'm not looking to take any salary back here. We're going to try and get a draft pick back for Giordano. Here's Minnesota. They might be our best option here. Just take a quick look here. It is looking like Minnesota is our best option. So Minnesota or Anaheim are the 2 teams that can afford him and want him. So we will try Minnesota first. And we'll try and ship Gio to Minnesota. So, interesting. They got a pretty elite defensive core as well. Wonder why they want to take on Giordano's salary, but it doesn't matter to us. We just need to unload that salary. So, they do want to give away some draft picks. We're obviously not going to get a first, second, or third, maybe a fourth if we're lucky. Let's see. That looks pretty even to me. 4th for Giordano. You know what? I'm going to try really high first. I'm going to try a 3rd. Likely won't happen. Let's try it. 3rd for Giordano. It's going to be rejected. So we will try to go down from here and get a 4th at least back here in this year's draft. We can get Boston's 4th, or we can get Minnesota's 4th. So I don't think it really matters. We'll just try Boston's 4th. So they do have 2 4ths. So it would make sense for them to trade one of them here. So let's see if this will work. And it's rejected. They do not want to take on a Gio's salary. So this could be really tough right now. This could be hard. We might be having a lot of trouble trading away Giordano. So let's try a 5th. I mean, they want to give away the 5th. They want Giordano. This has to work. Come on. Nope. It's not going to make sense to take on his salary. I'm not looking to retain. I guess worst comes to worst, we could. But I really wouldn't want to retain any of Gio's salary. So let's go here to their 6th. Is that a 6th round? Yeah, 6th round pick. Is that going to work? No. Okay, so we are in trouble here because Minnesota, any indication, nobody's going to take on his salary. We can try a 7th in next year's draft and see if that will change. No. So I wonder if we up it, if we take on a 7th but give them back, something that they want. So I mean, I don't want to go too high here, but do we give them back a 4th? We also have 2 4ths. We don't have a 1st in this year's draft. We do have 2 4ths, but I will give them, let's say, Columbus's 4th with Giordano for a 7th, just so they take his contract. I mean, basically, this is a 4th, so they take his contract. I mean, It's got to work. Come on, Calgary. Or come on, Minnesota, I mean. So you can see the trade is heavily in their favor. Hopefully they take this. I don't want to go much higher than a fourth for them to take on the contract. So let's see if it goes through. And it's still rejected. This is insane. Okay. Man, this is not good. Shoot. Okay, let's try Anaheim. Anaheim doesn't want that fourth. What can we up you with, though? They don't want anything. Shit. It's not good. Will they take Giordano for a seventh? No. So this is not good. It doesn't look like many teams are going to want to take on Giordano's salary. So that's not good at all. I'm just trying to think here. Should we try retaining some salary now? Like, let's see what it will take for Minnesota. So I want a, let's just say a 6th round pick in this year's draft. If we retain, let's say, $1 million, because he's making what? So 6.75. 6.75. So they would only have to pay him 5.75. Like, we could take on $1 million for the next 2 years. It would suck because we'd be $1 million short of what we could be using. But again, that would free up 5.75 million for us. So let's try $1 million. That's going to be the highest I'm going to try and go for now. Is $1 million. Oops, that's too high. Let's go $1 million. I'll take on $1 million, retain, $1 million of Gio's salary, excuse me. So here we go. 6.75, $1 million retained. All I'm asking for is a 6th. Can Minnesota do it? And it's going to be rejected. They appreciate us trying to retain some salary, but it's still rejected. My God, this is not good. Will you give us a 7th with us retaining $1 million? Still rejected. All right, this is the last thing we're going to try here. Will you give us a 7th and we give you a 4th? I just really want this contract off of the table. We're retaining $1 million. We're giving you a 4th round pick. All we're asking for is a 7th. Like, I mean, my God, all they have to pay is 5.75 of his salary. This is like a massively good trade for them. Like, this is heavily in their favor. I mean, I shouldn't even do this trade right now. It's that bad for us, but I really want to free up that salary cap space. Again, we're trying to go back for the Stanley Cup next year. Futures don't really matter, and I will sacrifice $1 million for the next 2 years if it means we can get that 5.75 back. So here we go, a 4th round pick and retaining $1 million for a 7th. This is such a bad trade for us, but will it go through? It's still rejected. You've got to be kidding me. Like, that's insane. I mean, holy shit, that's insane. Shit, okay. And none of these other teams, except for Anaheim, can afford him. Man, that sucks. That really sucks. His contract is going to be next to impossible to move. So, I mean, worst comes to worst, I guess we keep him for the next 2 seasons, but he's just going downhill. And we really need that 6.75 to free up in free agency. So this is taking a lot longer than I wanted, obviously. I will try Anaheim with the salary retained. It's going to be rejected. So not good. Not good at all. Shit, okay. So let's just go back to drawing board here. Let's go all skaters here. I'm just trying to look at what other salary we can maybe unload before the re-signing phase. Gio's would have been he's tied for 2nd on the team and highest paid. So his would have been the salary to move. We really should have maybe tried moving him last season. But we were pushing for the cup. I think he came in at 84, 85 into last season. So, there was really no reason to move him. I didn't expect him to drop that much. So again, we could try, we probably want to move Wheeler or Neal. We could try unloading one of their contracts now. That would put us in a huge hole, though. Other than that, there's not really too many players. Brooks Orpik, again, I thought this guy retired. We could try and move him quickly because I don't see really any reason to bring him back. It didn't work with Orpik in our bottom 6 in the playoffs. We just brought him in at the trade deadline. How much did we bring him in for? Let's see if we can get that back. I'm just trying to look here. We brought Brooks Orpik back in that trade, that massive trade. Okay, it's like a 4 or 5 piece trade there. We did lose a 1st in that and a couple prospects, but we also got back Neuwirth, a 2nd, and a 4th. So I won't worry about that. Let's say Florida. are you willing to give us draft picks? That's all I want back for him. Can we maybe get a fifth? We could probably get a fifth. Let's try a fourth first, though. Fourth for art pick. Rejected. It's met their block well. Because I think art pick's only got a year left, but again, nearly $2 million. What's he at? 1.9. Yeah, I want to take that $2 million off. We don't need to be paying him. Wow. This is even worse than Jordan. This is like as bad as Giordano. A sixth? Will you give us a sixth for art pick? I mean, my God. You want the player. Yeah. So it's... I guess he doesn't have a lot of trade value either. Like, I don't know. Nobody wants a seventh. The problem now is because all these depth picks are valued at the same. You'll remember that this year in the game, they've decided to make all the depth picks more realistic by putting hidden gems in them. By that, though, it makes them all valued the same. And art pick apparently does not have a good enough trade value. I don't think even if we put Orpik and Giordano together, let's go back to all skaters here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work if we put them together. What are we looking at here? Highest paid players. So this is taking a lot longer than I thought. I'm not sure how much into free agency we will get in this video, but it's tough because this is you can't cheat in the off season. You really got to do your best to make this, to try and make it. So I'm going to try throwing an Orpik with Giordano, see if that's enough to push it. I'm asking for a sixth right now. It's going to be rejected because they don't want to take on Gio's salary. So again, I will at the most retain $1 million. But again, I don't think this is going to work either. I just really want to get some salary off the table here. So, $1 million retained. This trade is really in their favor. I mean, they're getting 2 veteran defensemen. We're even retaining $1 million there. Come on, Minnesota, just take it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so they don't have any interest in the deal at this point anymore. I think we've tried it too many times with them. Let's try Anaheim. Did Anaheim want Orpik as well? They did. I'm just asking for a 7th. I'm asking for a 7th, Anaheim. Like a 7th, I'm retaining $1 million there off of Giordano's salary. Will this go through? It will not. So, I mean, my God, this is next to impossible right now. This is really next to impossible. I mean, we can't unload any of these guys right now. This is not making sense. Shit, okay. And I don't want to trade one of our top 6 guys yet because I just want to explore what else is out there. Maybe we go into the re-signing phase with what we've got right now. And see what we can do in the re-signing phase. And then work our salary on July 1. Because, I mean, I'm just trying to look here at the rest of these guys. Orpik, Rasmus Anderson, he has more value. But I think he can come back as a depth defenseman. I would obviously rather him over Orpik. I mean, I'm trying to get rid of Orpik, but nobody's even taken him. How many years again does he have left? Just 1 after this year. Which sucks because I really thought he retired in the last video. So that's not good. A couple of guys here. Slater Kukui. I mean, we could... I'm going to leave it because I want to look at our depth situation in the next video. So you know what? That was a huge waste of time. Let's just sim the entire draft here. And see what we've got. Again, we have 7 picks. We didn't pick till the 2nd round. But let's see. So there is what we've got. Hey, look, we took another R. Anderson. I wonder if it's another Rasmus Anderson. We also took a Nyquist there and a Pollock. So interesting to see there. And Anderchuk as well. Dermott. So they're using a lot of former NHLers players' names. But anyways, that's our 6 picks in this year's draft. Again, we did pick till the 2nd round. I wasn't worried about the draft as long as we bring in a couple prospects and then go from there. So it sucks because I really thought that on the floor we could have made a move. We did. We tried it with multiple teams to try and make a move and free up salary space. It just wasn't working. Nobody wanted Giordano. Nobody wanted Orpik. There's not much we can do. We tried everything there on the floor. So now we'll have to just go into the re-signing phase, do everything we can to bring back the guys we want to, and then do everything on July 1, which may be in the next video because this video's gone on pretty long. Let's just take a look here. We'll see how much we can get through. So first things first is let's get to the re-signing phase here. Let's see what we've got to work with. Okay, here. Okay, let's go contracts here, and let's see what we can do. This is not going to be easy, though. Like I said, TJ Brodie is our biggest priority, because we got to keep our top 6 intact, or our top 4 intact, other than Giordano. Our top 3, really, will be Brodie, Hamilton, and Bean. So taking a look here at our UFAs and our RFAs. So you can see in our RFAs, we'll start with that. Chillington, Mangiapane, Jankowski. Probably want to bring back all those guys. Kulak probably as well as Cuckoo. We can probably release Ole Madison and Emil Poye. We'll actually, you know what? The both RFAs, we'll leave them for now. Let's start with the UFAs. Who can we start releasing down here? So we can start releasing some of these guys. I know these guys are young, they're still prospects, but they only have AHL potential. We got new prospects coming in that we just drafted, so what I'm going to do is actually just release these guys. We don't need these guys. They're not going to grow into anything for us, and like I said, we've got new prospects that could have better potential than them anyway, so I know we probably just drafted like these guys last year, but nothing showing there, so let's release those guys. Derek Roy, 37 years of age, 73 overall. I don't see any reason bringing him back. So here we go. Hamilton, Hathaway, and Parkett will probably be good AHL guys for us, as long as they're asking for AHL contracts. Wotherspoon and Foligno as well. Fu, Ennis, and Holla, and well, maybe not Ennis. Ennis could probably be in AHL. Well, he's a good depth guy. We'll see what he's asking for. But Holla and Brodie is who we need to bring back. So let's start with the biggest guy. First of all, TJ Brodie. We have to bring this guy back. So let's see what he's asking for. He's asking for 2 years at $5.75. That's not too bad. That is kind of a lot. But he is going to be a top pairing defenseman likely for us. Probably with Hamilton on the top pairing, and we'll bring in a defenseman to work with Jake Bean, is what I'm just thinking of right now. So let's, we want to bring him back, so let's start offering him a little bit more than he's asking for. Let's go $5.85. I mean, that's not going to be too much more anyway, so let's offer him the contract of what he wants. We're giving him a little bit more money as well. So next up is Eric Holla, because I wouldn't mind bringing back Holla. He was a really good two-way third-line centerman if we can get him for a reasonable contract. So he wants 3.8. That's a lot to pay for a third-line centerman, but again, he is 29 years of age. He wants 3 years. Geez. 82. That's tough. Could we start off at 3.5? Start off at 3.5. And we'll see what we get there. Ennis, how much are you asking for? He's asking for more, north of almost $2 million. I'm not liking that at all. That is a lot. I'm wondering if we could get somebody better in free, or somebody the same in free agency, excuse me, for cheaper. So I'm gonna wait on Ennis for a second. Fu, I really want to bring him back. He's asking for 3 years at $2 million. He still has high top line potential. That'll probably plateau though. He is 26 years of age. I'm gonna gamble on Fu and give him that contract. I believe in Fu. He had a really good season for us. Foligno, how much are you asking for? Similar to who was the last guy we just Ennis. So yeah, I don't want to bring him back for that. He's only 77. So these guys, starting from Wotherspoon and going down here, should all be on AHL contracts, or should be asking for AHL contracts, and they are. At $975K for Wotherspoon, I can do that. We'll bring him back. Cedric Parkett, how much are you asking for? 1.4. I'm not going to do that. Hathaway, 800K, I can do that. And Freddie Hamilton, our captain in the Stockton Heat, is just asking for 7K. So that's fine. We can do that. Yeah, so Parkett, Foligno, and Ennis. They're asking for quite a bit of money right now. So I think what we're going to do is Parkett is only 76. He's asking for like 1.4. I'm going to release him. I think if we bring back anybody, it's going to be Ennis or Foligno, but I'm not going to do it for what they are asking for. So let's go to RFAs here. Chillington, Mangiapane, Jankowski. These are the guys we want to start with. So let's start with them. Chillington, how much are you asking for? $1 million for 1 year. That's a low-risk signing. He's still 23 years of age. I think that's fair for both sides. We'll do that for just over $1 million. Andrew Mangiapane, a solid third-line winger for us. 24 years of age. Yeah, he's asking just for $1 million, or for 1 year, excuse me, at $950K. So he just wants a 1 year contract as well. I can do that. Jankowski, How much are you asking for? Just 1 year as well, because he's now a fourth-line center. 25 years of age. We can see if he grows this year. He's asking for 1.5. Will you come down to, say, 1.3? If you can come down to that, we'll try that. Cuckoo, we could try. How much are you asking for? 975K. Yeah, I can do that. And Kulak, how much are you asking for? He's asking for $1 million. Can you go $1 million flat? I can try that. And then last but not least, before we fast forward here, is Michael Northworth. So again, and this guy, our AHL goalie, so we'll bring him back for 1 more year, see what he can grow into. But it's Michael Northworth, so I just want to see what he's asking for. Again, 86 overall, and yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. He is asking for $4.5 million for 3 years. Again, 86 overall. I just can't do that with what John Gibson is making, and with the little salary we have, we can't be paying our backup goalie 4.5. I would love to bring him back at 86 overall as our backup. I mean, we would have arguably the best goaltending tandem in the league, but we just can't do that. That's just too much. I could try and come down. He's not going to. The most I want to pay him is like $2 million, and he's asking for 4.5. So I'm not even going to try a contract with him. I'm going to officially release him. It sucks, but we just can't. We just don't have that type of money. So we just made a lot of offers there. Let's just see what we've got to work with. I'm praying that a lot of these players start accepting these offers because we need to bring back those guys that we need to bring back. So let's go advance a day here. Let's see who we got back here. So TJ Brody is rejected. He wants to test the open market. Maybe more cash would persuade him. This is not good because we've almost offered him $6 million to begin with. We can try to give him a little bit more, but I mean, how much higher can we really give him? So Brett Kulak has accepted good. Jankowski rejected. He wants like 1.5. We tried 1.3. Holla accepted, so we gave him basically what he wanted, just a little bit less, so that's good to see. Wotherspoon accepted, Hamilton accepted, Chillington accepted, these guys all in HL contracts. Mangiapane is accepted, that's good to see. Hathaway accepted. Fu has rejected. He also wants to test the free agent market. My God, you guys, this is not good. I mean, we gave you a shot, Fu. Why are you wanting to go test the open market? Cuckoo is accepted, and Stenska, our goalie in the AHL, has accepted. So a lot of players accepting, but a lot of big-name players also not accepting. Brody, Fu, and who was the other guy? Brody, Fu, and somebody else did not accept. So let's go back to it then. Oops, all skaters here. UFAs. So not good. Okay, so Brody, 30 years of age, 87 overall. I mean, he is an elite defenseman. I offered you 5.85, I believe it was. I'll offer you $6 million flat. $6 million for the next 2 years, $12 million over 2 years. I mean, come on, TJ. I mean, we drafted you. You've been a Flame your whole life. Like, you have to accept. I know he wants to test the open market. He probably could get a little bit more than $6 million, but I mean, we're offering you $6 million. You have to take that, TJ. You have to. This just makes it that much more important in getting rid of Giordano's contract because he's almost making as much as Giordano is. So let's try offering Brody that contract. See what we got here. Let's go back to RFAs. Jankowski, let's offer him his contract. So he wants 1.575. Go 1.5. 1.5. That's fair. Come on, Janko. You have to take that. And so who else was it there? Poirier and Madison we can leave right now. Spencer Fu. Yeah, that's who it was. Okay, Spencer Fu. He wants $2 million for 3 years. Oh, I could do 2 flat. I could do $2 million flat for 3 years. I mean, come on, Fu. Gotta take this. Didn't we offer him what he wanted on the first try? Like, we gave him exactly the contract he wanted. I mean, he wants to test the open market. That's the stupid thing about this, is some players have just want to test the open market. Yeah, there goes Brody rejecting that. So we've really upped it. He really wants to. There's Jankowski. He comes back. Fu's reject. So Fu and Brody really want to test the open market. They feel they can get more money. I don't know. This is a tough one because I don't want to go too much more crazy here on money. I think what we're going to do here is offer Brody one more contract. More money may persuade him. Shit. What's Monahan making? 6.3 something? I mean, I'll try 6.3. That's really high. Like, come on, Brody. 6.3. I know he's an elite defenseman. And it's only 2 years, so I mean, that's, it's not too bad, but that gives us a window of 2 years to win. So, 6.3. Come on, Brody. You have to take that. In terms of Fu, he's really getting stubborn here. I'm going to try and give him his 2.1. I'll even go his 2.125. 3 years. This is probably the last contract I'm going to offer him because, I mean, he is already 26 and only a 79. He probably doesn't get much higher than that. And for 3 years of paying him $2 million, that's a lot. So, only because he had a really good season for us am I giving him this contract in which I'm paying him more, but I have a feeling that he's not going to accept it, and if he doesn't, well, then I think it's time for us to part ways with Spencer Fu, which sucks because he was such a good player for us, but he just feels that it's all about the cash, clearly, so that's what he wants. We'll let him walk. So, let's see. So Brody has accepted 6.3, so we just paid him a ton of money, but we brought him back. That's a huge signing for us. Keep our top 3 intact. We just need to find a way to get move on from Giordano's contract. That's not going to be easy. Spencer Fu rejecting. So Fu does not want to sign. I think we're going to move on from Fu then. So one more time, we'll look at the contracts here, and then we'll get to July 1. Again, I don't know how much we're going to get to in this video. Probably not a lot, but we'll map out what we need to do here on July 1. So we have brought TJ Brody back. That's a huge starting point. Let's go here to UFAs. Yeah, so Ennis, Fu, Foligno, they're all asking, like, Ennis is still asking for over $1 million. Again, these are all fourth-line players at best. I mean, I can't be giving you guys these contracts. Fu, we gave him way more than he wanted. Now he's asking for that 1.25. You can fuck off, Fu, because we're not going to give you that. So these 3 players we can release. And in terms of Poirier and Ole Madison, I think we'll make a decision on these guys later. They're pending RFAs. We don't need to worry about that right now. But that's everybody. So we'll get rid of those 3 depth players, Fu, Foligno, and Ennis, and we will see if we can replace them in the offseason. Again, we're probably going to trade away one of our top 6 forwards, and that will give us a little bit more salary to improve our bottom 6. But we have some big moves ahead of us. So let's get right up to July 1. So, okay. But the big thing is we did bring back Brody, Holla, Jankowski. We brought back some pretty big players. Now we just got to find a way to get rid of Gio's contract and start our massive off-season reconstruction. Again, we're not going to go too crazy. Like, I feel that we made it to the finals the last 2 years, but we need to change. We're too offensive heavy. We're too top heavy. We got an elite top 6, probably one of the most elite top 6s you could have, but they're not getting it done. We need a more spread out offense. We need to bring in more defensive players, and our defensive core is way too offensive minded. We need to bring in a top 4 defensive defenseman. That's probably our biggest offseason priority, and then balancing out our offensive group is probably our next biggest priority. Other than that, obviously we have a bunch of depth moves to make, a backup goalie, a bunch of depth forwards probably to add, but those are our 2 big moves, is number 1, bringing in a top defensive defenseman, moving out Gio's contract to allow us to do that, because if we're bringing in a top defensive defenseman, he's probably going to be asking for close to what Giordano's making, so we have to probably do that first, and then move on from, or balance out our offense, excuse me. So let's go take a look at what we got in free agency. I may end this episode here because it maybe make it a shorter episode here. Here's what we've got to work with. So Jake Muzzin is in free agency. Is he a defensive defenseman, though? I think he's offensive. He's two-way. Shit. Looking at his defensive stats, 88, 89, 88. Not the best option for us, 85 overall. Worst comes to worst, yes, but I'm looking for more of a defensive defenseman. His defensive stats, again, on the right side, they're not too bad. 88, 89, and 88. Is there a better option out there? that's going to be tough. But nice to see we have options. Other than that, though, it's a pretty weak year for free agents. Because, I mean, look at the top forward is Thomas Vanek. Jonathan Marchessault is there, but he's 82. So, I mean, there is some depth options, but they're asking for quite a bit here. There's no big fishes this year. But in terms of defensemen on the market, it's Muzzin, it's Moore, who's an 82. He is a defensive defenseman, but I was looking for something higher than 82. And again, for paying him, he's wanting 4.7, so he's almost wanting $5 million. And there's 3 other teams: Arizona, LA, and Detroit, interested in him. 82 overall. I was looking for somebody close to 84, 85 or higher. So that's tough. And other than that, there's not really any other defensemen on the market. In terms of just quickly looking at goalies here, what we've got to work out, because we now do need to add a backup. There's Michael Northworth, top goalie on the market, but there is some other options down here for backup goalies. So, I mean, all these guys are technically backups. I'm looking at maybe somebody like Philip Grubauer, or Thomas Greiss, Michael Hutchinson, but again, 81. Crawford's there, but he's asking for 3.3. That's still a lot to pay for a backup goalie, and he wants 4 years at 35 years of age, so that's not happening. Grubauer, a little bit more reasonable because he is 28. He's only wanting 2 years, but again, that's still a lot. I'm thinking maybe Thomas Greiss at $2 million. But again, he's only an 82. So, I mean, we can also explore the trade market in the next video as well. But we'll look at our options for sure. Because we do have a little bit of time, because I'm going to end this episode here. But we do have a little bit of time going on this episode. So I can just quickly look at our other options here. And that's the trade market. So again, we have to figure out a way to trade Giordano's contract. See if any other teams have changed their mind now that it is free agency. Maybe they're change their mind on Giordano. They'll be willing to take his contract if we sweeten the deal. But we're probably going to be looking towards the trade aspect for quite a few of our moves. Because like I said, you just looked at the free agent market, and it's pretty weak this year. So what I'm going to do before the next video is I'm going to go through every team and look at defensemen on every single team, and which teams are willing to trade defensemen, good defensive defensemen, and see what we got for options. Even the teams that are not willing to trade them, see if there's anything we can do. When we look at our salary cap space, it's not good. 1.12 mil. So before we can do anything, we have to move on, or we have to move out salary. And that will probably be one of our top 6 forwards. I'm hoping we can find a way to get Giordano or pick their salary out of here. We have to find a way to move on from their salary. There they both are, 6.7 there and 1.9. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's almost that's almost $9 million right there. So we have to find a way to move out that money, and then we should have a little bit more breathing room here now that it is free agency. But I'm going to end this episode here. So we have a lot of big decisions to make in this next upcoming episode. I want to devote an entire episode, an entire video to July 1, because like I said, there's probably going to be a lot of big moves that we make. We're probably going to start by moving out a lot of big pieces and then trying to bring in and fill those holes. So not going to be easy. We're playing with money right now. We're just trying to find a way to shift a lot of money, move it out, and then we're going to be bringing it back in with some players. But we'll end episode 38 here. The off-season is in full swing. We are on July 1. In the next episode, though, we will go absolutely bananas and try and reconstruct this team a little bit in the best interest of making it more defensive and less offensive heavy, because it just wasn't working the last 2 years. Again, we don't want to go too crazy, though, because we still want to make it back to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, we did make it to the finals for 2 straight years. We just got to find a way to put us over the hump, and I think that's by balancing out our offense and making our defense a little bit more defensive friendly. So I will pick everything else up in the next video, and we'll end this episode here.